Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wyverns and Weirdos D&D podcast set in Fierlor. We are in October, so we're not far away from our wonderful rogue sorcerers player's birthday.
It's my birthday, Mom.
Yeah. And yeah, that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
If you want to wish me a particularly happy birthday, my PayPal link is always in my Twitter bio. Pay me so I can buy new technology to make your Wyverns and Weirdos experience a little less janky than my current setup. Technical difficulties pre-recording? What gave you that idea?
No such thing.
Yeah, so plugs as usual. If you want to support the podcast, you can share us, you can give us a like or a review or comment on whatever platform you primarily consume them on, and even go to the other platforms as well. You're watching this intro on YouTube. Go to your podcatcher app of choice and give us a rate and a review there as well, because that really helps us get out there. If you want to go the step further and help us do this a bit more monetarily, we have two ways you can do that. There is the Patreon, where you get early access to episodes, you get homebrew, you get notes, and there is the Redbubble, where you can get merch, which as of June, there has been a massive amount of stuff that has gone on there, primarily thanks from our perspective at this point to Zoe, has done marvelous amount of stuff, including our Be Gay Have Daggers, I think it's called, range.
Yep, the Be Gay Have Daggers range, which is in our collection on Redbubble called Wyverns and Weirdos. We also have a collection for all the stuff for Curse of Strahd, which hopefully by this point will include some merch I'm very proud of called the Anxiety Twins set, which is about Sevier and Fall, as well as other characters. And there's also going to be a bunch of stuff for the main campaign, which is just in the main campaign collection. As of today, us recording this, which is the 5th of July, we've just put up all the Season 3 art as well, so there should be more stuff from that as well, like some specific Season 3 stuff as we go along. So yeah, buy our merch.
Yeah, and there is a piece of art up there by wonderful Laura as well, and a couple of different versions of the main logo that I threw together, that have been up there since the Redbubble launched. So, without further ado, let's jump into another episode of Wyverns and Weirdos. So, where we last left off, a great many things happened. Bertie and Kharas had a wonderful date in Bertie's magnificent mansion. Additionally, there was some theatre games being led by Ross to distract everyone while said date ensued. When everyone awoke the next morning, they discovered that they had a visitor in the form of an ancient blue dragon, who was apparently an apprentice to one of the Dread Magisters, but wanted to get something from their master's hoard and decided to strike a deal with the party in order to get what it wanted in return for teleporting them directly into New Arcadia. It did so, and the party was able to very quickly make their way to the hideout for the local chapter of Diamartis Concord. That's where we left, with the party meeting Promise, the tiefling leader of the local chapter.
I guess for Ross, like, as soon as we walk in, as soon as she sees Promise, there's almost like a snap to attention kind of moment. She does incline her head a little bit and say, Promise?
Rivari, if what I have heard is true, then you potentially bring a great boon for us.
She looks at Sam and then looks around at the rest of the party. Goes, depending on who you ask, I may have brought several.
Wonderful. This first thing, I wish I didn't have to prioritize this over any other debrief, but it is a matter of fortunate timing, I believe, that we are about to send an expedition out to try to gain the support of the Ganassi tribes. And your friend Rook here would be invaluable in making sure that those discussions go over well. Would you be amenable to this, Rook?
Well, as long as my friends are safe, I do need a help in any way I can.
Good. I'll have what's the name? I'm trying to find the name. I'll have Yadel brief you on the mission and introduce you to the rest of the team.
Okay then.
And Rook turns to the rest of you and says,
Well, best of luck in getting ready for fighting the wizards.
Anya, she steps forward and she takes Rook's hand and she just very quietly, so only Rook can hear, she's like, I don't know why. You know how we usually all end up picking up Rook's accent? I just went to do an Irish one for Anya. Because of the Rook accent, which is just not it. And now I'm having a lot of trouble getting her voice back. Okay. Rook, are you sure about this?
If this is the thing that's gonna help me avenge my people and stop the wizards, I guess it's what I need to do. I ain't no stealth person like you or Neumann. I ain't no smooth talker like Ross or Birdie, and well, given the choice of the two, I don't think Kharas probably wouldn't be the best with these folks for this kind of mission.
It had to be you. I guess. I just. And she squeezes Rook's hand again, and she's like, "You know, I offered to come with you, but
You're needed
I think
here.
they need me. I need."
Yes.
Yes. I just hope that I can get back before the big fight. Want to smash at least tavern, if no one else.
Sorry. Apologies. We'll save some of the fight for you. And she gives Rook's hand one last meaningful squeeze and then stands back.
And she returns the gesture.
Yeah.
And then a woman, human woman, leads Rook into a side room to brief her on the mission. So, Promise picks up. What news is there from your end?
Well, where would you like to start, Promise? There's a lot to get through.
And for the sake of expediency, I take it you go through and explain.
Ross will do her... I didn't have time to prepare it this week. Ross will do her Neumann resume style spiel, where it's like, well, it all started with Zorthrum Tathar, and just and get all the way through to, apparently I have a disc that can bring Drakar back from the Astral Sea, and also we have a month to save Kharas.
Well, sounds like we better get started then.
It sounds like we should.
Do we know when Drakar wanted to be brought back from the Astral Sea?
Sometime after we arrived in New Arcadia. He was not all that more specific. We didn't have a lot of time.
Right. I will reach out to him when I can. My spells are not prepared for that today, but I can reach out tomorrow. I can tell you what I know of the remaining wizards' domiciles. We do have, or have had, agents installed within each of them.
Good.
That should at least have at least been able to give us some information.
Good. Good.
So, Zelex is probably the hardest one to get information on. However, we do know that it is something you'll have to brace yourself for. The lair is visually disturbing, texturally disturbing. It's a lot more organic than you would expect.
Like plants?
Like flesh.
See, I really didn't want you to say that.
I didn't want it to be the case.
Well...
But apparently, Illithid are very fond of their Nautiloids.
Those are a lot of words Ross would understand it. Zoe does not, but we can explain them to Zoe later.
Roll an Arcana to see if Zoe would understand it.
If Zoe would understand it.
If
Do I have my
Ross would
Arcana
understand
modifier?
If Ross would understand it.
19.
19. Okay, yeah. So Nautiloids are dimensional ships that Illithid are known to pilot in the Astral Sea. And they are basically like organic squid ships.
So
Yeah.
like the mind flayers, is that what Illithid are?
Yes.
Ah.
Illithid are mind flayers.
Cool.
Ah.
Okay. Dread Magister Vileblight's lair is a strange tavern system that has subsections for their apprentices. Each section is strangely acclimatized to the various dragons' liking. Magister Emberon, Dread Magister Emberon's workshop is we're not sure what, but she's been working on something, and there are various access rooms, we have been told, to whatever that something is.
Looks at Sam and is like, was there not information that it was some sort of mechanical phylactery?
Something along those lines, but how that would work exactly is uncertain.
Still.
And finally, Sirag's tower is the strangest of all, with many treacherous arcane traps along the way. Security measures, guards. It's going to take a lot of caution and maybe some practice to manage that one.
Ah, caution and practice are our middle names. And she points specifically at herself and Neumann.
Okay.
No deception roll. Neumann.
One last thing.
Telling the truth. Yes.
One last thing. We have received word that there is an emergency meeting occurring between the Dread Magisters, supposedly at Sirag's tower at some point today. We do not know when it is, but we do know that because of it, the central part of the city will be on high alert.
So, do you want us to hold off until this meeting is over, or do you want us to try and see what's going on?
There's an element of risk-reward here. The easy option, of course, is to stay here, wait out the meeting. However, it sounds like time is not on our side for a great many reasons. The alternative is using this as an opportunity. Try to make way to one of the Dread Magister's lairs in order to scope it out and potentially set up an ambush for them to return to, while also investigating it relatively unimpeded.
That could work. Element of surprise has always helped us. Would be useful to hide in the shadows on this one. We our party, can discuss it. I'm sure we have a little bit of time until we have to make this decision.
Yes, we don't know how much time. We don't know when this meeting is set to occur, but in the meantime, is there anything that we can assist you with? Is there anything that we can try to see within our resources and furnish you with things to make this easier?
Ross looks a little overwhelmed.
We don't have an incredible amount, but we do have some potions, spell scrolls, some magic items.
Neumann and Bertie are normally in charge of our inventory, Ross says in a panic. And then gestures to them.
I mean, I'll take potions. I'm always on the lookout for potions. You can never have too many potions. However, I don't want to be taking this away from you guys who may need them as well. How much do you have?
We will need to check our stores and see what we can spare on relatively short notice. We won't likely have them ready for today, but it shouldn't take too long past that.
And you mentioned magic items? What are we talking here?
Not much of incredible power, unfortunately.
I believe that's not what we're going for here at the moment either. Anything to aid us, perhaps? Utilities, tools? Maybe even something to aid in stealth?
We have some. We do have some boots of with magical enchantments to them. They might be designed to hide your tracks, so that you are harder to track. And harder to hear in movement.
Neumann gestures around the room. Does anyone buy it? Okay, no, I don't think that's what we need either. And what about spell scrolls? Do you happen to have anything we could use for stealth in those?
Couple of silencers. Handful of invisibilities. Not much else beyond that in the way of stealth, though.
Those sound amazing, actually. But again, don't want to be taking them away from people who could use them for where they're capable.
Anya sort of steps forward and she's like, this is not my domain of this party. However, I agree with Neumann. We should... we are quite strong and can generally hold a lot of our own with limited resources that could be used towards others. So I would not ask of us to take any more than what you can spare. Perhaps material components.
Of course.
For certain spells or well, Neumann, you would know best what you would need.
Do you have any mayonnaise? It's been a
No.
while.
Uh,
I
I
am
meant
quite
more.
famished. Oh, for the
Anya
road.
looks like really tired and takes just a very slow, deep breath. And she was like, I meant more for your inventions and tinkers, Neumann. If there's anything that you need to restore your stores.
I mean, I'm not sure if this is the right place to find it, but I am at a lack of diamond powder.
we do have some stores of diamond powder, but not a lot. We also have some smaller diamonds that could be crushed with some time, but we tend to keep them at least in their small form, their whole forms, so that they're a bit more versatile. But if you know you're going to need them as powder, we can probably spare some.
I'll happily take them.
I will speak to our jewelers to deal with that.
But yeah, so unless anyone else wants to have a say, we'll take some of your potions if you can spare them. We'll take some of those resources if you can spare them, and some of those spell scrolls as well if you can spare them. But again, we can make do, but the more options, the better.
I mean, while we're taking inventory of things that we need, if it's not too much of a bother, I don't know if you've got just a small stick of butter.
I'm sure that can be found.
Oh, thank you. Not much, just a handful, if you will.
And Promise is just gonna, I guess, speak into like a ring on their finger. Have we got a stick of butter in the kitchen? This may sound weird, but can you bring it to me post haste? Thank you. So that I can provide, I guess, without determining numbers, at least.
Oh, well, as long as it doesn't put anyone out, that's all.
No, our front is a tavern. We have no
I know,
shortage
so
of-
you need it. I would hate to...
But we have plenty of stores of it, and we have the perfect excuse to order more.
Of course.
It's a bit harder to hide potion shipments than it is butter shipments.
Ross is boggled by this entire interaction and the fact Caius is asking the most important person in this room for a stick of butter.
Yep. One
And-
paladin to another.
So they're a paladin. Fantastic. So, we all know what that means. So Ross just kind of looks between all of them and is like, Promise, we as a party will discuss briefly what we intend to do with the emergency meeting today, whether we will lay low or potentially launch an ambush, and if so, upon which magister we shall enact it. We will be with you within half an hour, if that suits.
That is perfectly reasonable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then,
So I need to clarify something. Did Ross make the party aware that they contain a disc that can spawn back? I'll bring... I can't remember
Drakar?
his name. Drakar back, yeah. So is the party aware, or Because I think you might have mentioned it in that debrief just then.
Yeah, this might be me misremembering it, but I believe when the modify memory was brought back, it was said that either Ross or Sam has some kind of disc that can access Drakkar. I don't know if Ross said that out loud.
Might have been
afterwards,
Sam, possibly?
Sam might have said it because Ross immediately left the room. But Sam might have been like, XYZ thing. So, you know.
Okay, so Neumann will go up to Sam. And will say, so I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, there might be something else that we're supposed to do with that disc you mentioned. Is that something we should do sooner rather than later, or just save it for a good time? I don't really get a sense of urgency from the way we're approaching things.
I think save it for a good time. If Promise is able to reach out to Drakkar.
Was there a request made with the disc, or it's just
only that he be brought back at some point after New Arcadia. After we reach New Arcadia. What I will say is that as soon as he comes back, they're likely going to know that his death was a ruse. What that does for our allies in the Bupsa chapters, I do not know.
Right. And I never really spent much time with Drakkar. Is he good in a fight? Is that what we're planning on doing? I've only ever seen him talk. People don't talk of him much because they think he's dead.
He is more a liturgist than a fighter. He is faithful of Diamata and has some ability from that, but his strength was always in his wisdom.
Right. And I take it that Ross is aware of all this as well?
Yes. Possibly more than me, having worked more directly with the Untitled chapter.
Right. So, I guess you two will just let us know when that happens. Or when there's a good time for that. And I guess now that we're thinking about what to do next, and he turns around to the whole party, how about we talk about what we do next? As far as I'm aware, there's a few ways we can go from here. Do we want to stay? Should we stay or should we go? As he gestures to the party.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of options we have, I think. We can... I'm not sure how mighty and powerful these magisters, or whatever you call them, are. But, I mean, from what we've seen in the past, we can take one or probably two of them on without too much of an issue. But maybe all of them might not be a great idea. Unless we're feeling particularly excitable. But maybe if we can find one of them. Or at least see what the house looks like.
So, if one, then who?
I'll be honest, that was the extent of my thinking.
I mean, you and Ross are the well, you're the spies. You got the stakes here. What do you think?
Well, this phylactery that Embrun might be working on, possibly, does bring a hint of suspicion. And I feel like that might boon, if it's what I think it's being made for, might create a boon for some of Embrun's allies. Perhaps one of the other magisters, so perhaps that might be the first place to go.
It's logical to assume the phylactery, if it's being made in some way, would most likely be used to assist Taven above all others. Especially since he is the only lich currently.
Not true. Zelix and Vileblight are also liches. The form is a little stranger due to their base forms, but they are warped versions of the ritual. Not completely standard liches, but they are still undead with phylacteries.
Still begs reason that Taven would be the first choice.
Yes.
So, in my mind, we know the least about Zelix. So there's potential to use this mission as a chance to find out more about them and their disgusting flesh home. We could use this as an opportunity to try and nip whatever Kira Embrum is creating in the bud, as far as mechanical phylacteries. There is also a chance to work our wager with Borax. However, we could potentially leave Vileblight until second last, therefore allowing us to use Borax as much as possible.
And if we approach Vileblight's lairs, we'd be dealing with dragons in lairs. So I would personally like to not have that fight anywhere near their lair.
It's between Zelix and Kira. Look, this is... You all have chosen to come with us. Neumann and I have a vested interest in this, yes, we all do. It affects all of us, but... Basically, if you don't want to go into a flesh house, it's best to say it now. It's fine. Ross is trying very hard to, make some kind of joke of the situation.
I am voting for the flesh house.
Really?
I had to think about it. He is the one that is most likely to turn us against each other. And that just so happens to be one of this party's repeated weaknesses. So I prefer to take them on in an advantageous way rather than to let them call the shots. I feel they are one of the biggest dangers to the way we fight.
Anya, she sort of steps forward. She'd been quietly observing and listening as every idea was brought forward and as everyone was discussing everything. And she's like, so it's to my understanding that we are choosing whose house to go to while they are at this meeting, yes? Who to gather intel on, who to ambush, who to take by surprise. Correct.
Correct.
It would make the most sense to me while we are at our strongest, while we are not worn down by the exhaustion that sets in a mission like this, to take on the least appealing and the most difficult first. So, as much as I personally am not looking forward to the sensory nightmare that is to come, I also vote the Flesh House.
If I may, I don't know much about flesh houses or anything, but having a think, if there's 4 of them left, and 3 of them have some form of lich thing, why do we not just go after the one that doesn't have a redactory yet?
True.
Especially if they're not at the house.
And it would potentially prevent further issues down the line. Because if Kira also has some way of bypassing Taven's need for his phylactery, then that puts what the Convocation are doing back in Durham into a position where it might be entirely pointless.
Two incredibly valid options.
So is it, do we take the advantage now, while we have it? Or do we prevent losing an advantage later on?
Flip a coin?
Oh my god, I was just about to say flip a coin!
Neumann, with his 25 intelligence, this vast strategic play, and he says flip a coin.
The gold coins they have different sides.
I may not be the most intelligent person in general, nor is my character the most intelligent character. However, true intelligence is knowing when the options really do call for just taking a chance.
Yeah.
So you can keep your opinions to yourself, Darvold.
Oh, I just love that, like, Neumann, with probably the ability to calculate different possibilities in his mind with his intelligence that is rivaled only by gods and other higher level extraplanar beings, and he suggests flipping a coin.
You want him to be
It's
like that
amazing.
all the time? That's
No.
boring.
No, I love it because it also is playing into his average wisdom.
All right. So heads equals flesh house, tails equals opportunity. Name escapes me right now, so we're just gonna go off that. Heads flesh house, tails other. Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
No changes?
Seems reasonable.
We are going tails. We're avoiding the flesh house.
Okay.
Okay. Embrun it is. Well, we can I'll promise that and begin getting ready.
Now, is there anything you can tell us in regards to the patrols at the moment, the increased security, who to avoid, what to look out for?
I have no idea. Promise may know, but this is new to me. This level of security, I don't know what they might extend things to, knowing that half their number have been slain now.
And can Neumann possibly do a big think to see what he might know of just generally about Embrin, which I believe is the artificer?
Yep.
Correct?
Yep. Roll me a history check.
With pleasure. That is a 21.
Okay, so being from Bubsashard, you don't know a lot about her, but you have heard tales, almost like campfire horror stories of the woman who replaced bit by bit her body with magical machine until there was no person left, and was eventually just a brain in a mechanical suit, essentially. She was known to be an incredibly bright, incredibly intelligent inventor, and yeah.
Any other great works?
Most of her focus is in various automatons, and trying to make automatons that aren't necessarily as one note as simple mechanical automation would be limited by.
And how did these horror stories usually end? Is it like, don't stay out late at night, otherwise the robot will come and get you and, you know, turn you into a robot or something like that? Or would it be like
bit of everything, depending on who was telling the story,
cool,
and what kind of horror kind of was their particular favorite. So some people were partial to the cautionary tale of like, if you start changing yourself, then eventually you won't recognize yourself. Some were partial to the more boogeyman-esque, don't go out late at night, otherwise the machines will get you.
Cool.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
And Neumann, being in the field, would know if he were to come across an automaton, the best thing he can do, especially if he wanted to either damage it or mitigate, I'm guessing would be acid mainly.
Depends on the automaton. Acid's probably not too bad. You actually have a brilliant feature for this. As a 9th level Tinker Rogue. With your reverse engineering feature. Where if you spend at least a minute observing or interacting with a device or non-magical object outside of combat, you can learn certain information about its capabilities and functions.
Yeah. Cool.
So you can expend 1 Tinker's die to learn 2 aspects about the device of your choice: the save DC, the disarm DC, the total charges, its AC, its current hit points, its attack roll, and its damage.
And how lenient are you with this? Is it going to be, I need to actually touch these automatons, or can I read about them?
Observing is
Cool.
so if you spend at least a minute observing or interacting with a device, or interacting with a device or non-magical object.
That's all. I'm happy with that. Thank you very much. So Neumann will turn to the party, and will basically share as much of this information as possible. So everyone, just listen up. Essentially, we are going to be fighting a robot lady. Now, they used to do very scary stories of this one. You didn't want to stay out late at night, otherwise you might have been gotten and turned into a robot yourself. They have usually a few automatons. Now, these aren't just any automatons, robots. These aren't simple-minded. These might be able to do complex things, damage, dodge, talk even. I don't know. I've never heard of a scene of a robot talk too much, so be on the lookout for that. I might be able to assist, but I might have to stand back for a little bit. And if anyone has any means of doing acid damage or any way to incapacitate something that is mechanical, non-organic, then that might be the way to go. We've got a little bit of time to prepare, but not really that much. So just do whatever you can, and I guess we'll be leaving very soon. As he sits down and starts going through his stuff, getting them ready.
Okay. You probably have a little bit of time before Promise comes back to ask you what you have determined. So, is any other discussing that you want to do amongst yourselves?
Ross is going to go over to Bertie, and she's just gonna kind of sit next to him and just like bop her shoulder against his and just go, sorry.
Bertie's been very quiet throughout this entire thing. He's just similarly to when they went to the Concord, I think, and it was Ross mainly like talking to them back in Durham. He's been kind of less like standing there demurely. He kind of like his ears sort of like flick towards where she is, and he looks down at her and then kind of like just shrugs. Yeah, I don't know why you're apologizing to me. This is you and Neumann's thing, so yeah.
Yeah, but you're here.
How hard can it be?
Still, I know you agreed to come, but this is a lot to do for us. And I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Preemptive.
You guys helped me out, so this is what I signed up for, so it's fine.
You're a good guy, Bertie. Thank you.
Well, that's very kind of you. No, this will be fine. Be good. Yeah, we'll get the edge on him. Just like with the dragons. So yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
For the best.
Do you want a brief distraction before we really get down to business?
Did you bring a bottle along? Is that what you're offering me?
Well,
Ross, you shouldn't have.
Bertie.
Mm-hmm.
How was dinner?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't catch up with you. Yeah, I was busy. Yeah, fine.
Just fine?
I mean, it's, it's a private matter between two people, so, that's,
Sorry. Was that a bit Neumann of me?
Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah, no. Things are good. They're very good, actually. Yeah, no, it's good. Just makes everything that's going on right now seem, both very small and very big.
Look, I'm glad. I know this situation sucks, but I'm glad that it's good.
Yeah. No, it's, yeah. Sorry, I've been, I need to go talk to Kai, sorry.
That's fine.
I know you need a distraction, and that's why.
No,
but, sorry.
No.
I need to talk to him about something.
You do that. It's fine.
Yeah.
I just wanted to check in.
No problem. That's very nice of you. Yeah, no, it's fine. Probably need a bit of rest before we head out again. Yeah.
Yeah. Go do what you have to do, Betty.
Yeah, no, of course.
And when today's done, I do have a flask in my bag, so...
Oh, fantastic. I'll be looking forward to it. Well, it depends. I might be busy. Who knows? Yeah, sure. I will hold you to it. And he kind of just, leaves off.
Yeah. Ross just watches him go with a soft little smile, and then kind of does sigh a bit and, put her head in her hands for a second. And then, waits for Promise to come back, but I assume we can have Bertie Caius before that. Yeah. Whatever occurs.
Okay, Betty, we're going to find Caius then. What is he doing with his butter?
Does Caius have the butter now?
Yeah,
waiting
at this point,
patiently for
a halfling comes up to you and with a package that's wrapped up in paper and
Perfect.
says to you, I was told this was for you.
Yes. No, thank you very much. You definitely don't need this.
No, we've got plenty.
Perfect. Yes. No, that will work brilliantly. Thank you.
Okay. And the halfling returns.
And Caius will put the package of butter into his backpack.
Okay. Buddy,
Hey! You okay? Oh, what's going on? Did you get your butter?
Oh, yes. No, that's all sorted. Yes, no, I've got
Cool.
that. They've given me more than I needed, but that should work well.
One for the road, I guess.
Yes. Well, exactly, actually. Anyway, how are you?
Okay, yeah, no, yeah, I just wanted to, check in, I guess. The braid looks nice that Anya did. It looks nice, by the way.
Oh, yes, no, Anya did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
I think I see it every now and then when I turn very quickly, but then it goes.
Oh, I got a mirror if you want to have a look.
That's alright, I kind of like how it sort of catches the light every now and
Like
then.
the tattoo, yeah.
Flick your
that's
head.
fair. Yeah, no. Well, I guess, are you feeling a bit calmer about before with the magic?
I'm feeling okay about it all. I think it's
Good.
nice that we're out of that forest area.
Yeah.
And everything should be back to normal again with magic. I apologize for sort of losing myself a little bit there.
No, it's okay. Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about, actually. Is there something I can do, like, when you get afraid or remember, I guess, like that? Or, like, do you need space or quiet and stuff? Like, I know I want closeness when that kind of thing happens to me, but I don't know what works for you yet, and I want to help. So I thought I'd ask you.
Well, I hopefully won't have to deal with that anymore, but I think, although I don't know what will help in that situation, just knowing that you want to help is enough.
Good. Well, that's good. I'll, I mean, yeah. Shouldn't happen again. I'll make sure it won't. And, you know, I know you got kind of crowded in there, so, if you don't want to tell people to move back off or give you a bit of space or quiet, I can do it. Because I talk a lot. And, you know, I guess, well, like you said yesterday about the thing in the forest, like, this sort of stuff might happen again, and, like, no matter how good things over the year have been, and that's okay. But I still want to help if I can. And I guess have a think about it. Like you said yesterday, like, we've got the rest of forever to work through it now, because we're, you know, us. Like your favorite beast from the garden back home. Always together.
Most of the time. Sometimes only one goes and gets the pollen, but
Yeah.
I do get a little bit worried, but then the next day they're both together again. So
Yeah, that's okay. Well, it's like when I go to work, you know.
Well, that's true. Yes.
Yeah.
There's also the thought I might have been watching a different bee.
Yeah,
They do
Hard
look
to say.
awfully similar.
they do. But you know, it's a nice thing to focus on, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, before the mission we have to do, which is going to be interesting, I guess. I have something for you, actually.
Oh,
Yeah. I was gonna keep it for your birthday. But since it's not that far away, but well, honestly, there's other stuff I can plan now that I know how you feel. And well, I mean, like, obviously you don't like, if you don't like it, you don't need to wear it. But well, back when I was first traveling with Anya and Neumann, we fought a dragon, I think it was. We've fought a few dragons, it's been ages. But we got like some gemstones and stuff like that. And I was gonna keep it, like sell it and stuff, but I kind of never did. And well, you've gotten me a lot of things over the years that I love, and especially these. And he points to the earrings. So I thought I'd give it to you now, because you were kind of weaked out, and you know it might be useful. So I hope you like this. Maybe it can be like something to hold as like a distraction sometimes, you know, if it gets too much sometimes. And it's got some magic that'll keep you safe no matter what. So doesn't quite match the ring I got you last year for your birthday, but I hope you like it. And Betty like reaches into he's got like in little the powder blue bag that he has on his hip that Kharas actually gave him about a year ago. And he pulls out like a little box and holds it out for Kharas.
Ooh, I mean, you don't have to get me anything.
Yeah, well, I already did, so like it's basically just a little early present. I'll get you something else.
Oh, okay. Do I open it now?
Yeah, if you wanna.
Okay, and
I don't know if you like it again, so but I hope you do.
Kharas will open the box.
Cool. So in the box, is like, so it's a necklace, basically. So it's kind of like the same white silver tone as the earrings Bertie has. But it has like an extremely striking pale blue sort of oval cut pendant that, because Kharas is grown up pretty rich, he probably recognized that kind of shine is like, it's a blue diamond, basically. But yes, there's like, yeah, it's a necklace, and it does some stuff as well. Keep you safe. So yeah. I don't know. I just thought I thought of you, and I was like, this will be a nice present for your birthday. But hopefully it'll be a nice present anyway.
Bertie, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Good. No problem. It's okay. Good. I'm glad you like it. If you don't like it again, you don't have to use it. But yeah, I thought I'd give it to you now, I guess. Just because, we don't know what's gonna happen and it might get dangerous. But yeah.
I love it.
Good.
And he will slowly put it on.
Okay.
Excellent. Cool. Fantastic.
Yes. I will let you know the properties of that later. It does not require attunement. But the one property I'll let you know just because it's a little small one that is nice and thematic to what Bertie's saying, that it'll protect you, is simply a +1 bonus to death saving throws. So if you go down, you have a +1 bonus to that.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Well, it does look very nice on you, so that's good. Excellent. Cool.
Thank you again. And thank you for checking in on me.
It's okay. I always want to.
Kharas is going to sort of walk up and give Bertie a little bit of a hug.
Aww. Excellent. Bertie will hug him back.
But it was like an awkward walk up, like a
Incredible. He's like, cool. Excellent. This will be good. How are you feeling about everything going on?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I think despite everything that we've been through in the forest and them, well, immediately after coming to this place, we were ambushed and everything sort of hasn't gone well since we agreed to come here. I think overall, wouldn't be anywhere else. We're helping our friends.
Yeah, we are. It'll be good. Hopefully it'll be fine. Hopefully they'll keep themselves safe. That's why we're here.
That's it.
So it'll be fine. Yeah, you're right. Cool. Well, excellent. I'm glad you like the necklace. And it'll be good. Cool. Just double checking, you don't... I guess we haven't even discussed that. Well, apart from the being together thing. We didn't really clarify before. Am I allowed to tell other people?
Oh, I suppose we probably should. Because there wouldn't really be any way that they would know otherwise.
No, we're very sneaky, absolutely.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think the dinner that we had, everyone was sort of outside. So.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
No, and then even when Neumann came in, I think we played it off quite well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's it. Precisely. No, but yeah, like we don't need to tell him. I just wanted to know.
No, I
guess.
think we can.
Cool. Okay,
That's fine.
good. Yeah. Good. I really am. I am looking forward. It gets kind of like a bit choked up. I am looking forward to our after. So, this should be good. The necklace will keep you safe. And you'll keep me safe. And we'll keep everyone else safe. So it will be good.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Cool. And he kind of like sags in a bit and looks like scrubs at his eyes a bit like cool. Okay. Cool. This'll be fine. I can't wait for the others to get ready.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's not too long now before Promise comes out and says, "Have you reached a decision?"
Ross kind of looks around the group to see if anyone in the 20 minutes we've been sitting here has visibly gone no wanna do. But seeing that none of us have, she's going to stand up once again, kind of like a soft, professional stance, I don't know, and is just gonna say, "We have decided that we will ambush Kira and Brins.
All right. Sam should be able to lead you to the location of her portal.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful out there. The guard are at levels that we've never seen before. Arcanists, martialists, and even Kira has some constructs in the mix as well.
We have our work cut out for us.
Indeed.
But that's where we thrive. So, that's what we shall do. Do you want us to prepare and head now, lie in wait to see if she leaves, or should we wait until we get some sort of information about whether or not the emergency meeting has started at Taven's?
I think best to strike while the iron is hot.
All right, we shall gather what we need and we shall leave to lie in wait at Kira's.
Okay. So, yeah.
Sam, tell us where we're going.
Yeah. Okay.
Give us the rundown.
Yeah. Within the center of the city, there are the 8 portals. They each lead to one of the Dread Magister's homes, their lairs. There's a separate hidden portal a bit further out that they will likely be going to in order to have their meeting, just so that none of them are on greater ground than the others. And they don't... It's not that they don't trust each other, but they don't necessarily trust each other's protégés, if that makes sense. So, they have a sort of shared ground for meetings. So, our job will be to get to the center of the city without being spotted, if at all possible.
Well, as we have proven time and time again, we certainly are great at blending into the shadows, so... We at least made it this far. What's a bit further?
Anya sort of, she opens her mouth and then closes it again as if she's going to stop herself from saying something. And then sort of shakes herself a little bit and she's like, I'm sorry to bring this up. To bring anything up that may cause any forms of contention, but Sam, I'm going to be very honest with you. My trust for you is about as thick as the surface tension on top of water, which is to say, not very thick, but flexible. I'm taking it on that flexibility that what you are telling us is true. In which case, we still don't know if they know about you. And if they know about you, if their worth is, well, worth anything that they say it is, would they not have changed the portals or changed some of the plans and directives to be different from the information they know that you would know?
Plans and directives, yes. The portal locations, no. They are as...
To what of the portal destinations? Those can be changed, correct? Why would they leave them the same, knowing that they could be compromised?
Not on such short notice. That kind of magic takes months to shift.
Okay.
Consider...
I'm sorry, it was a question that I'm sure you understand I have to ask.
Yes, and it was a thought that hadn't even occurred to me. But even the simplest of that such magic, a teleportation circle, takes a year to cement into place. This is more complex.
Okay.
All right, and how are we going to approach this? Rooftop, magic, back alleys, blending in?
Surely they would never expect us to just walk in the front door.
Fair.
So blend in it is then.
There is something to be said for hiding in plain sight.
I can use a more drastic seeming on us to make us not even resemble ourselves. It won't quite hold up to inspection, but if they're that close and they're suspecting us enough to properly inspect the disguise, then things are already shaky as it is.
That could work. So we change how we look. We walk through the city as if we have always lived here and always been here. If it seems as if anyone is looking too close, we make them look in the other direction.
Of course.
Many of us are good at causing distractions, if that comes to it.
Sounds like a plan.
We get to the portal. We assess whether or not Kira is home. If she is, we wait. If she is not, it's our time to shine.
Have we benefited from a long rest since we teleported?
Since you
don't
teleported,
believe.
no,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't have done anything. Like, this was... You teleported pretty much first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I cast a enhance ability in the morning on
Yes.
Caius.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have that spell slot
Yeah.
back.
No, that's all good. That's all good.
Okay.
Cool.
Throughout the most of this conversation, Caius has looked mildly confused, and then slightly proud that people are taking his idea. But there's also still very much a level of confusion.
Is Fred is Fred coming with us?
Teddy.
Teddy. Why was I thinking Fredsworthy?
That was
It was my
Fredwood
horse back
was
in
the
Dora.
horse.
Is Teddy coming with us?
Well, I assume he probably can't fit. Could he? If we're going in some form of portal that leads to a house, we could always have him waiting outside, but that could be mildly problematic.
It's up to you, Caius. I saw them fit down a trapdoor, so
That's true. We did have to push.
Was that Teddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was so
Kinda-
very faint.
Kind of scratched the underside of Theodore. Well, I mean, how good are you at pretending to be a donkey? Because he's currently looking like a donkey, isn't he?
Yeah.
Theodore, yeah. Can you look a little bit more like you don't want to be here?
What is a Pegasus's charisma? For a performance check.
Surely he's just very good at it.
I mean, the DC isn't going to be that hard for a Pegasus to pretend to be a donkey. 12. So it seems to be a reasonable performance. It's 12 worthy.
How many donkeys did we see around on our venture from where we teleported in the Dragon's Lair to the tavern?
Roll me a perception check. Like, a retroactive perception check.
Sure. Wow. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. There was the occasional donkey.
Looks good to
The
me.
occasional mule.
We did see a few of them on the way. I think this is a good decision.
But what about when we get near the portals? We can just loosely tie him up so that if we need anything, it won't really be beneficial inside the house. But then if we need anything when we come out, he'll be able to get away.
Would Neumann happen to know, possibly, because like as a kid he would just look at workshops, specifically the one where he got the suit of armor from, would he happen to have heard how large this workshop would have been?
You wouldn't have, but you would be aware that, like, an invent, like, tinkerer or artificer of that kind of power and station and wealth would probably have fairly like spacious corridors and rooms in order to actually have space to move any larger inventions.
These automatons are likely quite large as well, Caius, and I would assume that the space they're being held in, the entire workshop, would be quite large, spacious, lots of room to move around. So again, you and Teddy could probably talk it out, but I feel like both are possible options.
Interesting. Well, as a group, what would we prefer? There is definitely pros and not pros to bringing Theodore along.
Ross, this entire time, has just looked antsy. And she just gets this weird little look on her face, and she just goes, Caius, Teddy's yours. Do whatever makes you most comfortable, but we need to get moving.
Anya, who had not been showing any form of emotion, any form of anything, had kind of just been standing there, staying as still and as quiet as possible, just stands up and walks out.
Anya...
Looks like we're going.
Ross follows.
Caius, I don't know how you fight with Teddy. It's completely up to you.
We should follow the rest of them, if they're intent on going. Theodore, stay here. It'll be safer for you.
Thank you, guys. And then Neumann follows.
Yeah. All right.
Once Anya is out the front, before she sort of hears Ross approach, because she goes outside of the tavern, she casts a couple of cantrips just to sort of get some of the energy out before sort of stealing herself again for when Ross comes out.
Anya, Ross, comes up very quickly. We have to stop meeting like this.
I know that wasn't the wisest thing to do. I either had to leave or I would be unkind, and I don't want that. It's not fair. I'm not I'm starting to feel anxious again about what we have to do. And that's not anyone else's fault, no problem, nor something for me to take out on them.
In the kindest way possible, Anya. And I know that You know when I say this, I mean this with kindness. Welcome to the club. This is terrifying. We're all terrified.
It's your home. It's Neumann's home. It's not... I'm sorry, I shouldn't have...
And it's war. We lose our home at the end of the day. We lose our home, but that means Durham falls. It means Erethold falls. But Anya, I need you to know something. Right? And maybe this won't help. But I just need you to know this as a promise of sorts. No matter what happens, be it today or tomorrow or any time between now and when our time is up and the war starts, I will do what I can to protect you and everyone else in this group. Because if Erethold falls, if Kharas falls, I will weep, because I have failed those people. But if any one of you gets hurt along the way, then I am already dead. I will protect you with my life, Anya.
A frown goes across Anya's face, but she doesn't say anything yet. We have a lot to do. But
We do.
If we find rest tonight, can we have a chat, you and I? As friends.
Oh. Always, Anya. I'll always make time for you.
Sorry for the drop. Thank you.
It's... Honestly, I've been on the verge of saying something unkind since we arrived. Not even to anyone in particular, just as a concept. I feel like it's as if this mission has made me desperate. And I don't know what to do with that. But that, as you said, is no one else's problem but my own. All we can do is protect each other and prevent the worst from happening.
Now, I'm going to ask if this is okay with you, Darby.
Yeah.
For Zoe to roll an insight, because I want to see if Ross picks up on something.
Yeah. I mean, I'll roll regardless.
A 15.
Something passes over Anya's face again, but it only is for a flash, and you feel like it would be on the tip of your sort of mind to recognize what it is. And anyone else looking would see it as recognition.
Okay. Ross.
But she just nods and like, we should get moving.
Yeah. Ross's like
Yeah,
eyebrows
right.
furrow. And then Anya says that and she kind of nods, and I assume that's probably when everyone else, or at least Neumann, comes out and She just kind of straightens up.
Anya, she does tap Ross's wrist and just with message, just says, "Tonight, bye-bye."
Tonight, Anya. That's what we do.
So eventually, you'll gather outside of the tavern, and Sam prepares the sending and the seaming, and he will allow anyone who wants to give requests for their appearance to do that, and yeah, as he casts it, finishes casting the spell, he says, "Right, we ready?"
As always.
All right.
Just for
As a
the record, Neumann is shorter as well.
Okay.
Specifically requested to be normal height.
Okay. And we will pick up with that at the top of next episode.
See you next week.
Thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Can anyone hear anything out of my microphone in the background? Like any passive sound whatsoever?
No?
Okay.
No.
Audacity's picking up something, but
There's a very slight high-pitched noise coming from someone, which might be yours.
Okay.
But it's very, very slight.
I'll talk really staggered like so. Oh, I'll tell you why. It's recording from the wrong camera for my Audacity. Hey, Darby,
Yeah.
can we do my time code again?
Yeah.
Thank you. I will change it to the proper microphone